Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'll be explaining the powers and abilities of Guardian. Due to the fact that Guardian exists in multiple continuities, as the DC Universe comic continuities have changed over time, I will be explaining him and his powers from the different versions that he's existed in. Guardian first appeared in 1942 during the golden age of comics. His origin was that he was a poor child who grew up in New York City. Eventually, he became a police officer to try and clean up the streets that he grew up on. One day, while a group of kids known as the Newsboy Legion was getting attacked by some gangsters, he slipped into a costume store and made himself a superhero costume and saved the kids. The kids recognized who he was underneath the mask as the police officer they grew up seeing patrol their area, and together he and the Newsboy Legion fought crime. Now, after Crisis on Infinite Earths and continuity was changed, it was changed to that Guardian grew up in Metropolis, not New York City, and that back in the 40s, he was the hero of Metropolis, and Jim Harper eventually died. The organization known as Cadmus made a clone of Jim Harper, and that clone was given genetic enhancements, those being superhuman strength, agility, and durability. And so this clone of Jim Harper went on to become a superhero and protected Metropolis alongside Superman. So Guardian has the strength and the speed to be able to take out whole armies of men single-handedly with ease. Here we can see him break a sword over his knee, and here we can see him tackle and move a whole group of men all at the same time, strong enough to affect Superman with a kick. And here we can see him get into a scuffle with Mon-El, who is the Daxamite who has all the same powers as a Kryptonian. He's able to affect Mon-El with his strikes, using his shield, and then eventually Mon-El overpowers him and Guardian is defeated. But the feat here is still impressive. And here we can see Guardian stopped by Triceratops dead in its tracks. As for Guardian's durability, here we can see him get crushed by this gigantic large metal thing. Here we can see him survive getting rammed by this being with ram horns. Here we can see him get slammed through a wall by Parasite. He's able to survive a strike from Metallo. Here we can see him survive a massive shockwave caused by Doomsday's rampage. As for Guardian's reflexes, he's fast enough to react to speedsters. As we can see here, he reacts to and outmaneuvers Superman. And here we can see him dodging more strikes from Superman and outmaneuvering him again. And as for his agility, we can see he uses his superhuman agility to navigate Metropolis. For Guardian's gear, he wears armor, a helmet, and he carries an indestructible shield. He uses to deflect bullets and other things. As we can see here, he deflects a flaming metal door. He uses it to deflect powerful laser beams and other powerful explosions and whatnot. And other projectiles like this monster here that's shooting out these metal things. Guardian can use his shield offensively. As you can see here, he uses it to tear open the top of a truck. And here we can see him use it as a melee weapon, knocking this Kryptonian over the head with it. Shield is also equipped with a flight mode, where he uses it as essentially like a flying surfboard that he can fly around on. Guardian has also been shown to be skilled with numerous other weapons, high-tech or otherwise. He's also an elitely trained fighter and infiltrator, and a master of stealth. As we can see here, he infiltrates Cadmus and then hacks into their database. Eventually, Guardian joined the Justice League during the post-Infinite Crisis timeline, not to be confused with Crisis on Infinite Earths. But this version was largely unchanged and is essentially the same as the post-Crisis version. In the New 52 continuity, there was a Guardian that was not Jim Harper, but he was called Guardian and he used high-tech armor and weapons in combat. Little is known about this version of Guardian due to the fact that he appeared very little. Then during DC Rebirth, Jim Harper was brought back into that continuity, or the Jim Harper clone, I should say, and he seems to have all the same powers that the post-Crisis and the post-Infinite Crisis version of Guardian has. Unlike the New 52 version, he has appeared very little, so not that much stuff is known about him, although he seems to be exactly like post-Crisis and post-Infinite Crisis Guardian. So Guardian is a very interesting and underutilized character. He's a very cool part of the Superman mythos. I think he should be used more often. Now, if you're wondering why he's so much like Captain America, that's because he is. Both he and Captain America were created by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. Captain America first in 1941, and then Guardian in 1942. And instead of having Bucky as a sidekick, he had a whole legion of newsboys. So that's part of what makes Guardian interesting and cool, is that it's kind of like us getting to see what it would be like if Captain America existed in the DC universe. I really hope that DC decides to do something cool with him again, like make him Deathstroke's rival or something. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. Until next time.